Is everybody there? Hello? You hear us? Ariel, you want to take yourself off
Yes,
mute? That you're a member?
We hear you. We hear you
I
guys.
was just taking myself on mute. I
So
think
we're calling at 6:34 p.m. I'm calling to order the disciplinary meeting. All three members of the disciplinary meeting are here present. Wayne and myself are here in person. Ariel is joining us via what they call WebEx. All right, so we're in receipt of two complaints. They both pertain to George Torres, district manager. First one is a complaint dated September 21st pertaining to an incident at a bylaws committee meeting on September 16th, 2024. I'm going to move to have this complaint received into evidence and attached to the minutes. Any objection? Yeah, let's wait on this motion. Ariel, you have an objection?
no.
Does anyone second the motion? Go second the motion. Okay, all right. The document is submitted in evidence and will be attached to the minutes. We have a complaint dated October 18th pertaining to the ad hoc bylaws committee that was submitted by Carla Borsari. I'm going to make the same motion to have it admitted into the record and attached to the minutes. Do I have a second for the motion? Second. Wait, a second motion. Any objections? Okay.
No.
The second complaint will also be admitted into the record, received into evidence, attached to the minutes. Our next item is to actually approve or at least discuss some sort of policies and procedures for dealing with these two complaints. I am in receipt of a 4-page discipline policy and procedure for community boards. There's a missing page from the document that's forwarded to me, followed up with a borough president's office for the full document. As soon as it is received, I'll share it with the remainder of the committee, and we'll share it with both the complainant, potential witnesses, and the subject of the complaint. My thought here is that we will reconvene this meeting somewhere between 35 and 45 days, and will allow both the complainants and the subject of the complaint to submit any evidence, whether that be documentary evidence, affidavit testimony, or if they wish to hear at the committee in person and respond to any particular allegations that we have that meeting 30 to 45 days from now. If members of the committee have any feedback or other suggestions, I'm certainly open to that. Ariel?
I agree about the 30 to 45 days. I think it needs time to have people be able to investigate.
I'm sorry, you're a little bit low. Did you say you agree with the 35 or 45 day agenda?
I'm agree. Can you hear me better now?
I mean, I can hear you, but you're very low. We're making some weird.
Okay. I'm saying that I'm in agreement with your 30 to 45 days.
Okay, great. So we'll allow the subject and of the complaint and the complainants and any witnesses to submit additional evidence and or any proposal to appear in testimony within the next 30 days. They'll be notified with a copy of the minutes, and I will notify them via email, and they can appear at the next meeting. What's a good day for everybody? We'll look in December.
What would be 30 days from now?
What was that, Ariel?
What would be 30 days from now?
30 days from now would be approximately December 12th. So we're looking probably the week 16th through the 20th.
16 to 20. Okay.
Is there a good day?
I'm double checking.
Wayne, you have any thoughts on the day?
Please, I mean, all the aspect that on anything else.
All right, so we're looking at, let's do,
I'm not available after the 18th, so if it could be the 16th or the 17th, that would work.
all right, let's do the 17th at 7 p.m. Adjourn to December 17th at 7 p.m. And let's say that parties are to notify the committee. The parties are to notify the committee if they're going to appear on December 17th, or they are to actually submit, documentary evidence in advance of the hearing by, let's say, December 13th. Does that make sense? Does that give us enough? That gives us enough time to review, right? 4 days.
I think we just need a week before.
All right. Let's say December 10th. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll say the complainant, any witnesses, and the subject of the complaint having December 10th to respond and notify the committee that it intends to present testimony, and then we'll reconvene on December 17th at 7 p.m. for a hearing. Do we need a motion?
I second. I have a motion.
Go ahead, wait.
I just make sure, I'm strongly encourage that if the person's making the accusation, that they appear in your oral testimony. I would rather have this person directly than have them just documentary evidence. So, I mean, I would appreciate if you know that the allegations that are made against them, they actually appear. So I would deeply appreciate.
I'm so sorry. Can you talk up? I can't hear.
Sorry, I was just suggesting that the complainants should appear if testimony against Mr. Torres. I would prefer that he actually be an opportunity to confront the allegations. I mean, the documentary evidence are submitted. I'm not going to say no, but I would prefer that they appear before the committee and present their complaint.
I mean, I don't have any objection to anybody coming or just submitting documentary evidence. I understand Wayne's point. If, I don't want, what I don't want is anything cross-examined.
No.
Yeah, no.
Witnesses. I want to hear somebody's side and then acceptably to hear the other party's side. And I want all right. So there'll be the opportunity, obviously, one person is persuasive.
Yes.
And I think we can take note of that. Ariel, did you say you had a motion?
Sorry. Can you say that louder?
You had a motion? Did you say you had a motion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm like 1 block away.
Oh. Should we wait for you?
I'm by Gransby's funeral.
You're not going to love the way back.
We think you're a few blocks away.
I'm 1
right,
block away.
All right, so just to formalize what I said before, I'm going to repeat it one more time. I'm going to make a motion, and the motion is to adjourn this hearing until December 17th at 7 p.m. and also give the parties until December 10th to notify the committee that they intend on hearing in person or to submit documentary evidence. That will give the committee 1 week to make considerations in advance. Do I hear a second motion? Motion for second. Any objections?
I second the motion.
Yes. Okay, all right. Is there any other business for this committee? Go ahead, George.
So I know you said that there's 2 complaints. I haven't received any, so I'd like to get a copy of them.
Yes, what we just voted on is that what we're gonna do, we're gonna attach the complaints to the minutes of the meeting. We're gonna deliver it to you, and then give you the time until December 10th to render a response. I understand that you gave me some sort of preliminary response. I'll give you what I got. Anyway, I received some sort of summation of facts, but we'll give you until December 10th. We'll give you until December 10th to write anything you want, or any kind of opposition.
I'm not an attorney, so I have no doubt. My question is, do we even need to go?
I'm sorry, Ariel, can you mute your phone? We're just getting the background noise.
Now,
Sorry. Oh, sorry. So, like for example, I have the means to hire an attorney, and that's going to cost money. And then, so again, I want to know. I know you said that you're going to receive the complaint, but I'm also curious if there's some sort of predetermined outcome of this, because you guys are having conversations that are not being shared with me or the staff.
no, I can assure you that there are no conversations behind the scenes, and I can also assure you that if the committee receives what's now, we receive these complaints into the record, and now we convince the public record law does not allow us to meet secretly. We have received, well, that's my understanding, that we're not allowed to meet secretly outside of the public meeting. That is my understanding. And we have done with that understanding. So what we're now doing is receiving these complaints into evidence so that we can take a look at it. I think the question that you're asking is a good one, which is, does the complaint reach a prima facie level in which we can even necessitates any kind of adjudication? And the answer to that is we need to look at it. We need to look at it with the detail, with the correct detail and the correct context to look at whether or not it even meets the prima facie requirement of a complaint that's worthy of the disciplinary committee's time. If you feel like you would like to make an application to this committee or be a letter, I did say that this does not meet the prima facie requirements of a complaint that is submitted to the community board for X, Y, and Z reason. We would certainly consider that as part of your opposition, and we should have an opportunity to review that in advance of the December 17th meeting. Does that make sense?
It makes sense insofar as I still don't know what the complaint is, which you now have to put into the minutes, which then become a public record. This is a public body, but when it comes to staff of this committee, we can't go into executive session to discuss those issues so that they're not made.
Do you want to make an application to make these proceedings confidential?
No, maybe that's what's required. The public, we are a public body, and all of our meetings are public, so we're not getting into the meeting detail of the complaint. But once we do, that is not privy to the public.
So what we've done today is take the complaints and receive the complaints and set a date for the parties involved to respond to the complaint. That's all. I'm operating under the understanding that this is all done in the public. None of the complainants have made any application to put this under kind of seal or in private view. If there's something in the bylaws, and I've reviewed the bylaws, and I've reviewed the policies and procedures from community boards about a confidential proceeding, if someone wants to make the proceeding confidential, I'm certainly willing to review it.
I'll give you the first time.
It's not that they want to make it confidential. Certain things involving staff is not for the public. You have to go into executive session to discuss that. I don't know if we can attach that to the minutes.
If there's like personal information, like
Personal,
personal
you
stuff.
can't-
That's-
WebEx. Enter your
That's not
access
what-
code or meeting number followed by pound.
You could.
It has to be done on executive. Reach out to Alexis from the borough. Everything, you can't, certain things regarding us because of the staff is not.
Enter your attendee ID number followed by pound.
Can I ask one question? Yeah.
While they should be
Yeah, that's the basic standard.
Yeah.
So he, so, I mean, once we look at the bylaw, we look at what the regs we have to look at, we've said, we'll look at this company, before we get to, let's say December, what, 17th?
Yes.
17th, we might say, you agree to that, there's nothing here. But probably there should be a conversation that, you know, should be had.
But the objection that George is raising is that it should be next to the minutes.
And probably should not go to
That's the second thing, sir.
All right, so the open meetings law. So George has handed me a document, and it says.
Can you turn flip it so you see where it's coming from? This is coming from.
This is page 28 of the Guide to Parliamentary Procedure for New York City Community Boards. It says the open meetings law requires all meetings of public bodies to be open to the public. What permits public bodies to close their meetings to go into executive session when certain types of issues are to be discussed, and the correct procedure to close a meeting is followed. The subjects that may be discussed in closed meetings are matters that imperil public safety, any matter which may disclose the identity of a law enforcement agent, information relating to current or future investigation or prosecution of criminal offense, discussions of pending future litigation, medical, financial credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. So then the question becomes whether or not, if it pertains to the employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, then we need to go into executive session. Well, it's permissive, it's, we may go into executive session, but this body might err on the side of caution and actually go into executive session. But I think, you know, unless you have an objection, I think what we've set forth is not violative of this. Well,
Look, I'm very open with everybody, so I don't have a problem with this being aired or that. But for example, you stated that there were 2 complaints. I'm not aware of that. I know
I
that
received it today.
you just received it.
I received an email from 2 parties, and I have copies of those emails, which I'm going to provide to you so that you can respond to those emails. There's been no clock
No,
for
no,
you to respond.
I'm not questioning that. I'm not questioning, I'm just saying, you know, my concern that there's a predetermined outcome is that you just received the email today, yet you called this meeting more than a week ago. You know,
I received the complaints, but I want to share it with the committee and the people who were invited to this committee meeting by virtue of the notice. So now everybody has been notified, and we're going to allow the parties to respond. Now,
I mean, I think George was saying that it appeared that it got this thing weeks ago, and he ended up to receive something. So,
Yeah, I just want to see what the complaints are because I don't know what the accusations are. I mean, I did have a conversation with Beatrice, chair, and she made some very serious accusations. And that's why, like, to me, I don't know what she claimed rises to the level. Because we just had a board meeting where many of the same concerns that I had expressed were spoken about by board members. And so, why
I'm
is it
sorry.
that
If you're, I'm sorry. I'm
my
sorry. If you're online, can you mute your phone if you're online?
George, I think we're going to be ample opportunity for you to review the complaints and make a determination about whether or not those complaints should be shot down because they don't reach a prima facie standard, or whether or not you need to find counsel, or whether or not we need to go into executive session. I think all we're doing today is getting the process started and convening the disciplinary committee for the first time so that we are formally receiving the complaints as a disciplinary committee. I did not want to do this offline because I didn't want to offend the open records. So I wanted to have all three members of this committee receive the complaints and then start an investigation so that everyone can get their word in and that we can look at this matter reasonably with our eyes open.
I don't even want to do. I read the complaint. I don't. Well, so
No.
you understand, you're all going to sit down and try to figure out what.
Well, no, so I appreciate that and I understand, but I guess maybe I'm being a little more articulate because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I can see one sort of brewing, and it's not directly at you or anything like this. You know, if somebody wants a pound of flesh and we're going through this exercise because they want their pound of flesh, I went through this before. And that's actually part of, but the thing is, ultimately, because I don't know what invisible strings are being pulled, I don't know if I should get professional because I can do it. I need to do that sort of thing. But as this community board, well, I'm sure some of them board here, we were sued 2 years ago. We paid a lot of money, so we know that, you know, by another board member, and it costs money. And that's why I'm just saying, like, I think that I'm not an attorney and I have to trust the process, but I know that when I watch enough law and order that, like, when you go into a court and you make an accusation, there has to be some basis or evidence for it. Without me, the person, I have to lie. I'm defending myself. I'm defending, I guess. Man doesn't even have to say anything because it doesn't rise to the level. There's no merit.
And everything that you're saying can be raised on or before December 10th or at the next hearing. If you need an adjournment or if you have a request to put it into executive session, that's something that we can also consider. Again, this meeting was convened so that the committee could introduce themselves to one another and that we could formally receive the complaints that were sent to my email address. And so that we can provide those complaints to you so that you can review them. But I want the committee to receive it, and then we discussed about what we're going to do. Now we're going to provide it to you. I don't want to tell you whether or not the allegations have merit or they don't have merit. I don't know this. I need to review the allegations, and then we'll receive that extra evidence on December 10th. Perhaps they'll be dismissed. Perhaps we'll go into executive session. Perhaps there are a million possibilities. Okay?
And I would like to ask, because I understand his all feelings and all facts are valid, as far as we don't have the information, so we need transparency, because the statement that you made about, pulling strings, like, and the past tense of a pattern of like, you know, something happened 2 years ago. So that is valid for you to like raise feelings for. But again, like this is just being put on a notice just for the board. And then getting that information and having 30 days kind of gives everybody a length to have time to just review and to get there. So we can cross that bridge when we get there. If this is going to be, you know, closed and it's going to be public, but it's too soon to say because we do need a response and we do need, you know, other things just to look at. Because what you say may be valid, it may not rise to it, but it's still something that has to be addressed. So I think that for your reasonings and your doubts and everything, I completely understand because you need transparency and we're gonna give that to you.
Okay, and thank you for the citation to the guide of parliamentary procedure. All right, it's 7 o'clock. I'm gonna move to close the meeting. Any second? Anyone second?
Second.
Wayne seconds, and we close the meeting at 7 o'clock.
Close it up. With the mouse and the.